So you're thinking about moving to Iowa and want to know the good and the bad of living in Iowa? Well, you're in luck, because that is what we are going to be covering in this video. Let's not waste any time and start with the negatives or cons and then get to the positives or pros. One disclaimer before we get to the list, and this list of pros and cons is coming from our experience of people who view our channel and told us their biggest pros and cons of considering Iowa as a place to live. My job is not to give you my opinion, but be truthful with you. That is what I will do. Con number one for many is the harsh winters. Iowa winters can get downright cold here in Iowa, and one commenter of another video of ours mentioned that the humidity in Iowa makes the cold even colder. I don't know if that is necessarily true, but thought I'd throw that out there for you. Winter can extend from November all the way through most of March on any given year. That being said, the 2 months that are the harshest each year in Iowa are January and February. It is not uncommon for sub-zero temperatures at nights and sometimes even during the day. With the cold comes snow, and Iowa in general gets a moderate amount of snow each year, with bestplaces.net stating that Iowa averages 30 inches of snow per year. The US average is 28 inches of snow per year. So Iowa is just above the average for the US. All in all, you will need a thick winter jacket here in Iowa. The positive of having cold winters is the fall and spring are fantastic, are very comfortable. Con number two, hot and humid summers. On the flip side of winter is summer, and in Iowa, it can get really hot and humid. We have tons of corn here, and the theory behind all the humidity is because of the corn. Iowa consistently is one of the most humid states in the nation, and some years is the #1 most humid state. If you are like me and sweat easily and get quite uncomfortable here in Iowa, air conditioning is a must here in Iowa, not only due to the heat, but to keep your home dry. I wanted to butt in here and let you know, my name is Tony Lukin with the Living in Iowa team, and my wife Anna is my business partner. We get inquiries of people considering Iowa all over the United States as a place to call home all the time, and we absolutely love it. If you are considering moving to Iowa and want to know more about what it's like eating, playing, working, sleeping, and buying or selling real estate here in Iowa, then this is the channel for you. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified each and every week we come out with a new video. Lastly, if you are planning on moving or considering moving to Iowa, then reach out via phone call, text, or email, as we love helping people just like you make that smooth move to Iowa. Con number three, limited entertainment options. Who doesn't like to have a good time every now and then? I know we do. Whether that is to go to a sports event, concert, go to the beach, go to the mountains, etc., etc. Iowa has 0 professional sports teams, and with those professional sports arenas come concerts. Not to say Iowa has no concerts at all, but huge venues or arenas are very limited here in Iowa, especially rural Iowa. We also don't have any mountains in the state, any huge lakes, or the ocean, obviously. To some, this may seem boring. Now, Iowa does have the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa State Cyclones and other smaller colleges across the state where you can get into their sports teams. This year, tons of Iowans can't wait for the women's Iowa basketball team, as they are projected to be one of the best teams again. Shout out to Caitlin Clark, as she is fantastic. Now, if you want to go to a professional sports game, then you will have to travel outside of Iowa. Iowa does have places to visit, such as the Iowa State Fair in the summer, Makokata Caves, lakes across the state, the Mississippi River on the east, the Missouri River on the west, and other places to tour. But if you want epic mountains, big bodies of waters, then you may be disappointed with Iowa. Due to there being little reason to vacation in Iowa means tons of peace and quiet. This is a big reason people are moving here, because they want that peace and tranquility that Iowa can provide better than most other states can. You can raise a family and relax here in Iowa. Life slows down a bit here in Iowa. Con number 4, extreme weather potential. Iowa is in Tornado Alley, which means we get more tornadoes than many states here in Iowa. Typically, they're not as strong as the southern states in the Tornado Alley, such as Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, or Texas. This does not mean we don't have the potential to have huge tornadoes here. and we have had a few in the past that were incredibly destructive. Thankfully, we are less likely to have these tornadoes due to being positioned in the north part of Tornado Alley. With tornadoes come thunderstorms. These thunderstorms can cause severe weather. Just over 3 years ago, the state of Iowa had a thunderstorm tornado mix called a derecho. And this derecho went through the state with Cedar Rapids taking the brunt of the storm. There were 100-mile-per-hour winds for over 45 minutes in Cedar Rapids. It caused significant damage and power outages across the entire city. Some went 2 weeks without any power due to this storm. The last major risk with weather is flooding in Iowa. Iowa's rivers are very shallow, and without high banks to keep the water in, this means a heavy rain storm or consistent rain for days causes flash flooding. It doesn't take a whole lot for the rivers in Iowa to get to flood stage, and on a bad year, flood for a good part of the year. This is why, if you are considering moving to Iowa, you need to find a relocation team like us at the Living in Iowa team. That way, if you need to know where you are or aren't safe from flooding and other things, we can help you out. All you need to do is reach out to us, text or call. Our information should come across your screen right now. Reach out anytime. We love helping people. Con number 5, high property taxes. I was talking to a realtor friend of mine in South Carolina, and he was telling me how much property taxes were there in South Carolina. Part of me thought he was mistaken, as they are so much lower than here in Iowa. Here in Iowa, we have high property taxes that are anywhere from 1.2% of your home value to 1.6% of your home value. If the prices of homes in Iowa weren't so affordable, it would be a huge turnoff for many. Whew! We got through the top 5 cons of living in Iowa. We hear from working with people considering Iowa. Now let's have some fun and talk about the top 5 pros of living in Iowa. Before we do though, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single week. Pro number 1, affordability. It is easily the number 1 reason people are relocating to Iowa. Iowa is one of the most affordable places to live in the whole country. Real estate prices are a huge reason for this, as according to bestplaces.net, Iowa scores a 55.4 in housing affordability, where the US average is 100. This means if you want to buy a home in Iowa, your dollar will go farther than most every other state in the United States. In entirety, Iowa scored an affordable 80.1 according to bestplaces.net, and the only living expense on the list that scored above the US average was healthcare costs. Healthcare costs scored 108.2. Overall, you will be pleasantly surprised how far your dollar goes here in Iowa. Pro number 2, freedom leaning. This may not be a pro for all people, but I had to put it on the list. I'm not here to talk about politics, but in Iowa, there is a strong sense of live and let live. If you're not hurting people or intruding in people's life, then others will respect that and treat you the same way. We'll get to this term here shortly, but Iowa nice is a real thing. People believe in being neighborly and nice. With Iowa voting red, it has attracted many people who just want to be left alone. Doesn't mean they are political, but they are tired of a bureaucrat trying to run their life. Now I know this may offend some, but this is just what we have experienced through this YouTube channel and many of out-of-staters calling us and wanting our help. They're tired of their current state leadership intruding on their rights and just want to be left alone. This also includes our children in Iowa, as Iowa is known by many parents who are concerned with the direction of the public school system teaching. Iowa is very homeschool friendly and is open to this form of education with less restrictive laws governing homeschooling. All in all, live and let live is getting more and more typical here in Iowa. Pro number 3, Iowa nice. We already started covering this in the last pro, but Iowa nice is a real thing here in Iowa. This means that you will get waved at, people will hold the door for you, most will say hello, and your neighbors will help you out for the most part. That doesn't mean there are no outliers, but for the most part, people here in Iowa are extremely nice. It is a breath of fresh air to out-of-staters. I asked a considerable amount of our past clients about what they like most about living here in Iowa, and every single one of them mentioned how nice the people are here in Iowa. If you want pleasant people to live around, then this is a huge pro for Iowa. I want to butt in here and state that we believe in honesty on our channel. We had a commenter, or hater I would call it, that commented on one of our videos that we are the dumbest realtors ever and that we hate Iowa. We want to come out and tell all our viewers that we don't want a single person we work with to feel like they made a mistake moving to Iowa. So that's why you may see some negative content. That means we're going to be brutally honest with you at all times and make sure this state is right for you and your family to live in, as no state is perfect. Also, we love living here in Iowa and have our entire lives. Pro number 4, peace and tranquility. Iowa has been labeled by some to be boring or has nothing to do. There are plenty of things to do here in Iowa though, and places to see. They may not be huge events or living life in the fast lane things to do, but Iowa does have places mentioned before, like the Makokata Caves, State Fair in Des Moines, the Mississippi River on the east side of the state, the Missouri River on the west side of the state, lakes, and other things to do. That being said, with everything in life moving so fast and so many stressors out there, many people, like ourselves, just want to go home and have a nice place to relax out of the hustle and bustle of life. Fortunately, for those who choose Iowa as a place to live, we get that opportunity. Last pro is weather. I think sometimes people moving here or even living here focus too much on the negatives of the weather here in Iowa and not the positives. Iowa does have its hot and humid summers and cold winters that we've covered before in this video, but what gets overlooked is its incredible spring, fall, and summer nights. We went to Texas this summer to San Antonio to see a friend of ours. To say it was hot is an understatement, for sure, as it was scorching there. It didn't cool down even at night, which was surprising to us as Iowans. We typically get a break at night here in Iowa from really hot temperatures, and if we do have a warmer night, it isn't consistent. In the spring here in Iowa, we may get rain, but we aren't like the Pacific Northwest or Florida, where they have rain seasons. Iowa gets rain, but it isn't weeks on end. Also, the temperatures in the spring are downright amazing. We have a good month or two in the spring bringing very mild temperatures, making it very pleasant to be outside. Then fall, which is our family's favorite, is in our opinion even better than spring. You get very comfortable daytime temperatures and nights are cool, but not cold. The temperatures in the fall at night are perfect for sweats and a sweatshirt. The other thing about fall is it is typically drier and makes for more days of being able to be outside. That's the list we came up with from our experience and with the people moving here to Iowa and considering moving here. Let us know in the comments your opinions and what we may have missed.